ganzen Jahre waren hart. Mit Corona, Maske im Pockets, Riesenparty in meiner Stadt, nach Fest, die Blau bis in den Nacht. Katakan, Karneval, bin
Tomorrow for sure.
Okay, guys. Enough. Dance show's over. Chapter starts now.
Eventually.
Right? Law and Kid fans are gonna eat well today. Oh damn hell yeah, they're gonna eat well today, right? One Piece chapter 1030 is finally out, and it is crazier than last week's chapter because Kid and Law are the MVPs. Quite literally. But to be honest, this week's chapter of One Piece, it was one of those chapters where Eiichiro Oda was literally everywhere. He was everywhere and he showed us bits of everything and every character, every main character in the arc. And it was like, what is going on, Oda? Are you doing maybe set up for the next following chapter to conclude something? Is this a kind of a hint for us? Because this was crazy. He was everywhere and he showed everything, and it felt like, okay, this is the introduction for our final point to a certain ending. Maybe finally Act 3 ends. No, what am I saying? Or is it? So the chapter starts with a cool cover page. We got Brook, Mr. Yohoho himself, the rock and roller ghost spirit of the underworld. And he's helping. No, he's not helping. He isn't stepping on some ants because he's respecting their way. And they are going through there and he's like, cool guys, do what you want, but I'm not stepping on you. We go away from the cover page, and the first literal page of the chapter, it shows two forgotten characters, Mr. Scratchman Apu and Drake. And what are they doing? They are talking about the situation in the castle and in this war. And Apu, that piece of shit, is trying to negotiate with Drake. He is like, hey, I know that you're a marine and I figured that out of myself, but what about we join hands here and we do our thing, and when everything and everybody is beaten and everybody is down, I mean everybody, then we gotta do our thing and we take everything which is important and go out. And Drake is like, yeah, fuck you, we're not doing that. I cannot trust you. How are you expecting me to trust you? And while they're talking, we can see that the two of them are on a separate room somewhere else in the castle. And this room is located on the far right side from the top view of Onigashima. And who are also there? The last three remaining numbers are there. It's number 1, number 2 and number 3. And they interestingly look more intimidating than the previous other numbers. And from the chronological order, you can also say that those three are the strongest numbers. The number 1, which was in the page on the right side, he had his mustache. He looks kind of like the meanest, the strongest out of them. Then on the far left we have the number 3, I guess it was. And he kind of looks like that fake Usopp we got from the beginning of the time skip with the fake Straw Hat Pirates. And in the middle one we got the number 2, and he is looking like a fatter version of Ashura Doji, to be honest, right? So moving away from those two, we go to the first and second floor stairs, where we can see Nami, Usopp, Tama and the lion dog who's helping them. And the funny thing there is they are escaping from the fire, which is even spreading out more inside the castle of Onigashima. And what's happening? Kinemon's legs are there. And it's like, why? Oda, why? Why is he still alive? Why can't you just kill him? Please just kill him. Kill some of more scabbards, man. But yeah, Kinemon is alive. And what happens? He is running like a maniac with the below part with his legs, and he is crushing into Nami and Usopp. And they recognize him immediately and they're like, hey, it's you, Kinemon. And he can't hear them because his top part is still lying there where Kaido cut him in half. But yeah, but it is cool to know that Kaido cut him in half and he was like, nah, you gotta die now. But he did not die because of some mistake Law made with his room that was through back in the day in Punk Hazard, and he did not exactly put his 2 body parts on point again, so it happened that Kaido just cut exactly that point on his body where it did not literally kill him. And so yeah, KINEMON runs into those two and Usopp is like, hey, chill out, you can't hear us, I gotta grab you, we gotta help you out. The way KINEMON just calms down is because of Nami, because she tingles him and he's like, oh, I like that. And yeah, those two are now gonna go to KINEMON's side and they're gonna help him because Kiku is lying there and Kanjiro is lying there. And you would think that those three are dead, but they are not. Kiku is still breathing, which is fucked up, and Kanjiro is still alive, which is more fucked up because he has been a better villain than everybody else in the castle and in this raid, besides Kaido and King. Then in comes the biggest piece of shit in One Piece history, which is Orochi, and Flampe also, she's in that part, and that fucking Celestial Dragon. But yeah, Orochi is coming in there, and what does he do? He's talking to Kanjiro, he's still using him, he's like, use your hatred. He's like this evil Sith Lord, and what is he telling him? He is like, Kanjiro, your performance was great over all those years, but you're still breathing, you're on the edge of death, but you gotta still do something for me. Use your last breath you have and draw the friggin' hatred of the Kurozomi clan and spread it all over Onigashima. And Kanjiro is like, yes sir, I'm gonna do it, and he draws a slimy looking like character. You remember Slimy from Punk Hazard? He draws something like that. Maybe he has, I don't know from where he has his inspiration, but he draws something like that, but in a flaming version. It burns. That thing is on fire. It's on fire. And on top of it, it can go through walls. It burns, it's huge, and it can go through walls because it's something like a ghost style. And you're sitting there and thinking like, why? Why aren't you dead, Kanjiro? Why is no one of you dead? This is a war, man, you gotta die. But no. Orochi is using him, Kanjiro did his last thing there, Kiku is lying on the ground, KINEMON doesn't even know what the fuck is going on anymore. And so are we. Whilst this monster is breaking havoc and is completely destroying everything from the inside even more, we can see a shot from outside of Onigashima, and there is Momonosuke, and he is still trying to create mini clouds and stabilizing Onigashima, but son, you're not doing it right. This will not help, and he's completely in shock. He's like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if this will help. And it's like, yeah, we do not know it either, but probably with next week's chapter, Onigashima might finally fall down. And we have the friggin' tragedy of Act 3 and the friggin' act ending. So what happens else? We see the guys from below, the people from the flower capital, and they're still partying because of the clouds and all. They can't see what's up there, and it's ridiculous, right? How high Onigashima is from all the noises and explosions that were happening from there. It's like, come on, didn't you even hear a tiny bit of that noise? So I'm moving away from here. We see literally shots of everybody. I mean, we see Cypher Pose Zero, they finally standing up and going somewhere else. They stood up and went somewhere else. It's like, okay, they are on their move now. Which means the ships from the world government are pretty close to Wano country. And it's like, what are you guys gonna do? Then we see Marco, we see Izo, they're fighting. Izo still didn't run out of bullets. Hey, your brother is dying there, go help him at least. Stop shooting people. You're still stronger than the most of the fodder. Marco is still looking right and left, he's smiling, it's like, hey, okay, do something else, please. Momotaro is not happening, it seems, but do something else, help more. Kawamatsu is just posing. We didn't get Fukurokujo and Raizo, but that will be the last final big battle of the arc, potentially, because we have the two strongest dudes there. It was a joke. And then what happens further, we get the money shot. Luffy, still in his base form, is fighting against hybrid form Kaido. And it's like, Luffy, before you completely destroy yourself to 100 and cannot move any longer, please use Gear 5 or something else. Come on, man. Look at your two competitors. Look at Law and Kid. They friggin' awakened the Devil Fruit. You gotta do the same. So we see Queen fighting against Sanji. He managed to keep up with him pretty easily, which is no brainer, right? And Zoro is still keeping up with King, and it looks like King is still having the upper hand on him, but we gotta see how that rolls out, right? So from there on we move to Yamato, and she is running through the castle and she is praying inside of herself, and she's like, Momonosuke, please hold down this island a bit longer. I will go to the weapons section from this island, and I need to stop those, because if this thing falls, we're all gonna get smoked. And I'm like, yeah, that shall happen. That must happen, actually. Also cool was to see that Luffy was using Reveiw Haki with his attack, and he was posing like this, and I'm like, oh, is he now combining Reveiw Haki with Advanced Conquerors? Because that would be cool, right? So yeah, Yamato is also telling us readers that on the bottom side of Onigashima, on the lowest part of the castle, there are the weapons. And it seems like, I don't know if it's true, but Orochi is also there. So Yamato could bump into Orochi, but Orochi would be dead then, because Yamato destroys him in a second, sorry. Before she can even go further than that, she notices something, and what happens? The entire wall breaks through, and we have the attack from Big Mom, and it's like, holy shit. That piece of a big giant woman, that big bitch is strong. Ikoku Sovereignty Doom, and the whole wall is gone. So she laughs her ass off, and she's saying to Kid, hey, I'm gonna start with you, and Kid looks literally fucked up there, but we can see a short flashback, and Kid is talking to Law, and that's where the creme de la creme of the chapter starts. He is asking Law, can you awaken your devil fruit? And Law is like, yes, but only a short amount of a time, because it is draining every energy that is in my body left, and I only want to use it on a life-threatening situation. And Kid is like, are you kidding me? What more of a life-threatening situation do you need? This is Big Mom we're fighting against. And then he was like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay, let's awaken our devil fruits. But the funny thing is, the two of them can do it, but it drains too much energy. It's like their ace in the sleeve, but it's dangerous to use. It's a cool thing that Eiichiro Oda did this in this way, because we were thinking like, okay, Kid is not using his Conqueror's Haki like Luffy, and it could have happened that he can now activate Advanced Conqueror's Haki, but no, Eiichiro Oda said, no, we're gonna not do that. I'm gonna give Law and Kid the awakened ability of her devil fruits, and they use that against Big Mom beautifully. So only Luffy is maybe the last one left in this trio who needs to learn activate his awakening, and it can maybe now happen within this arc, and that would be the last asset he needs. So Law does not this time a room, he does now a Kroom, and with Kroom he can do Anastasia attack, and he coats his sword with it. And what does he do? He stabs Big Mom from the back, and the blade from him goes through her chin. And he is like, okay, this is my attack. Kroom works differently, and what can he do with it? He attacks her from the inside completely. It's like a counter shock, but for the entire body with more damage. He even says Kroom influences your body on different ways than my other attacks. And then he says Schockwelle. It's German for wave, but in the Japanese pronouncing German word, I think they're gonna say Schockwelle. I don't know. And what does Kid do? Kid turns Big Mom into a magnet. And what's happening? Napoleon is clinching into her, and he's like, what's happening? And yeah, Kid is saying, you're now my magnet, bitch. And she is such a strong magnet, she pulls in every metal there is into her, and even the metals from the walls. The structure and everything that is inside the walls come crashing down on her. And that gave Big Mom a huge damage. This is the first literally big, huge damage Big Mom took in this entire war. All of the other attacks Big Mom took in this war on roof piece and in the fight now were not that big. Those damages were not that huge for her. But this time she got her first serious damage from Law and Kid. But it's like, guys, all of you were getting serious damage by the YONKO this entire time, and you guys have ridiculous, disturbing, disgusting durability. But what about the YONKO? You managed to damage the YONKO seriously, they have more durability than you. So I can see Big Mom completely losing it within the next chapters, and she's gonna destroy the two of them. Either that or a tie will happen. I cannot see Law and Kid 100% beating Big Mom here. It can end in a tie, but Big Mom will not go down like that. I can't see happen. But we will see how that comes out. Then the next big thing is, or the last thing for this chapter, Ohara made a video with the Japanese YouTuber Yuderon, and he said, guys, watch out for chapter 1031, which is next week's chapter. It has a Japanese wordplay. The pronouncing of 1031 is something of a tragedy in the meaning. And he said, watch out for that chapter, because it can happen that that chapter will be the fall of Onigashima and maybe now the Act 3 ending. It can happen. So we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see if this is truly the case. So yeah, tell me how you liked the chapter. I thought it was amazing, pretty good. And finally we get more and more to the ending part, but it's gonna get even more ridiculous from here on now. Leave a like, comment and also subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.